What's good, world? It's your boy, Bears Prism Flemings, host of The Find Your Flow Show, a podcast dedicated towards creativity, authenticity, and expression. Be sure to follow us on all social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, and share. On today's episode, we'll be talking to Larry Turnbow, a wood burning artist and curator from Detroit, Michigan. We'll be discussing his artistic journey, the process of wood burning, travel, wu-wei, the art of effortless living, curating art shows, and so much more. Be sure to follow him on all social media as well. Enjoy the episode. What's good, world? It's your boy, Bears Prism Flemings, back at it again with another episode of the Find Your Flow podcast. On this episode today, we have my man Larry Turnbow, artist, curator, dope human being. Larry, how you feeling today?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Today's a good day. You know what I'm saying? We're still early in 2024. Trying to make a good day, good year.
Hey, I feel that, bro. I feel that. So we're in the second month of the year, Black History Month. Shout out to the people. Larry, what are you planning for yourself for this year? What are your intentions? What are your viewpoints on yourself as an artist and where you are? What's your mentality, your current state of feeling for being?
Okay, so for this coming up year, I ended the year 2023 away from art a little bit, right? I did my show, the Hidden Gems art exhibition, Liberal Arts Gallery. I did a lot with that, then I did some traveling afterwards. I know we're gonna talk about that more later, but and then I moved, you know what I'm saying? I got a career that we're in right now, so had a lot of things going on, so I hadn't made much or did much since then, but I'm more settled now in the new space and the new energy, so I'm looking to really just get back in the mix. And we done ran into each other a few times over the past couple weeks in different places, so we chopped it up. But just putting my best foot forward and really getting back in the groove with that this year, really, you know what I'm saying?
I feel that for sure, bro.
Coming back in the fold.
Most up. So Larry, for those out there who might not be familiar with your work or what you do, can you kind of just give us a background on who you are as an artist, how you started doing art, and then what kind of style of art you do?
Okay, so anybody who don't know, I've been drawing my whole life. So how I got into art, I've been drawing my whole life as a kid, but it was never something I took serious though, right? It was just a thing I did by myself, you know what I'm saying? I played sports, so it was a thing I did to myself. But then after college, I lived down in Austin, Texas for a couple years. I'm doing the work life, typical millennial, go to school, go to college, get the job, get the degree, do this, go to corporate America, you know what I mean? Yeah, like the generic, right? I'm living that out, you know what I'm saying? And not too long out of being out of school, engineering, tech, all the stuff related to that world. And that shit just wasn't coming together, bro, if I'm just keeping it real. It just wasn't coming together. Funny at the same time that I was, things was kind of falling apart with that. I had discovered wood burning, so just answering what type of work do I do. We got a few over there. But I got into.
Do you mind if I just grab?
Just grab that shit, bro.
Now, this style, it almost looks like a tattoo of sorts.
Right. Yeah, so that's that was actually my first art goal, you know what I'm saying? Once I started taking it serious, I was doing this, and then I learned about that. And it's a lot of similarities now. This ain't, I give all the credit in the world to the tattoo artist, right? It's a few similarities with wood burning. So I was trying to do that, but what I did was I learned those styles, right? And that is, like traditional Japanese, but that's a popular tattoo style. I learned the tattoo styles. That was kind of my first real inspiration with a lot of stuff that I was doing, because before I knew anything about galleries and museums and all this stuff, I kind of knew that, right? Like that's the culture, you know what I'm saying? People know that.
Word.
So I got influenced by that, and then I started making those type of styles on wood. Realism, detail, portraits, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
So I know you said you started off drawing, so what would you say are some of the similarities and some of the differences between drawing on a canvas or a piece of paper, you know what I'm saying, with ink, and then actually burning into wood? Because there's carving wood and then
I feel like a lot of people might be familiar with that process, but not a lot of people are familiar with what goes into not only like burning the wood, but sketching the outlines and then filling in the color and things like that.
Yeah, so this is one similarity, like with the tattoo style. I was saying I stencil, right? I would use carbon paper. I know they have like the ink transfer paper that they use. I use carbon paper. Maybe a portrait, words like this one, or just whatever to figure, and then add some freehand to it. So you kind of basically drawing it out once, and then you come back with the burner to make it permanent, or like I didn't come back with the needle, with the gun, do it. But one difference about wood is just because of the grain in it, it'll kind of make its own burn, right? Like it'll burn with the grain, if that makes sense. Like how deep it'll go, or like the depth of the line, you know what I'm saying? And it's like really something you can't control, because the wood is just, it's shaped how it's shaped. It has the pattern in it, how it is. So it'll kind of it'll get a cool effect with the outcome that I wasn't even trying to get. That was just the wood itself kind of doing its own thing.
So in a way, it's almost like you're collaborating with the wood or the meat.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like it got its own little expression. Like, okay, can you grab that one real quick?
Effortless living. Yeah.
Just to give you an example.
Definitely. First off, you guys can't see this right now, this piece. The Art of Effortless Living. Definitely one of my favorites that you've done. Go ahead and kind of explain your thought process behind it, what went into it.
Yeah, so let me say the kind of get that example first, and then I'm gonna tell you that too. So just before I forget. So, but I'm gonna flip this for the camera to see. But I mean, you can see how like the shaded part is not. It's not a full, even just one burn
It's
tone.
almost like waves.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So it's
let's show
that's
the
me
just so
kind of the heat will catch at certain parts more than at other parts. Like this part with a thicker piece of the grain, it might take more heat to burn it to get it to be that same. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So as you're going through it, it'll kind of just do it on its own, or even if you go back over it, like it kind of just makes its own pattern in the
within the
shaded, in the shaded part, yeah. So it'll give it some pop, or like I've done ones in the past where if it's a person, I'm shading in hair, like it'll kind of be its own, like the hair will have a pattern in it.
And then that kind of adds to texture in a sense.
Right.
Like not even necessarily physical, but dimensional, visual texture.
Yeah, it just makes it all pop more. And that wasn't even an intentional thing. It's just this also, I'm doing my thing, but this kind of doing this thing too, so.
It's crazy because I know for me, I wasn't really familiar with the world of tattooing at all until I started watching a show called Ink Masters. And that show really was honestly one of the first shows that opened my eyes up to a lot of things about art. And it's funny because when I look at some of your pieces, I feel like so many elements that are necessary in creating a good tattoo, I'm seeing you incorporate into the different sketches. So if you don't mind me asking, what piqued your interest into starting to do wood burning specifically?
So yeah, so I knew I wanted to get back into my art, right? Like I was saying, I had kind of had stuff falling apart for me in one area of life, pretty much everything, but at the same time, this other thing was coming together. Like it was just a natural flow. It seemed like something I should do, I embraced, right? A talent I let go to waste for a long time. I had somebody, a friend I knew, he was selling gemstones like online, like quartz and different yeah, like stuff like that. He actually, was making money doing that, you know what I'm saying? And we was doing some Facebook listings, I was helping him, but he had a client who wanted to get like some rubies or something to put in a wood burning that she did, right? So this is the first time I ever even seen that. So I'm like, she wanted to put like some rubies in the eyes, and I'm like, damn, okay, what? Like, and I'm trying, I'm at the same time, I'm trying to get back into my art and I'm drawing, I'm looking at this shit like, what? Like I didn't even know, you know what I'm saying, that was a thing, and she was doing shit like headboards, like a wood headboard for the bed. Had like
but like gems encrusted into
the wood. A wood burning for like other pieces I seen, like in her portfolio that she did, had, you know what I'm saying, like wood burned a whole wooden headboard for a bed frame with some elephants and giraffe, like some safari, Lion King type shit. I'm like, this was a white woman too, and I'm just looking like, damn, that shit just, you know what I mean, just caught my eye. Like that was a moment. So I'm like,
a mind opener.
Yeah. So I fucked around. It's just like all the elements was right at that one point in my life, and I'm just like, cause the job I had down, I actually worked at Samsung when I lived in Austin. This is like 2017. Early to about this time, 2017. And I had like a 2-month period before I came back to Detroit where I wasn't working. So I'm like, I had some savings. I'm kind of just riding that out before you know what I mean? I'm like 25 years old at the time.
Plotting the next move.
Yeah, I'm 25 years old, know I'm about to come back home. I'm like, all right, but so yeah, I had the time, bro. I bought one, looked it up, soldering iron. That was the first thing I used. It wasn't even like the actual wood burner with the, you know what I mean, with the dial and shit. This shit burn at one heat. You know what I mean? It's just either on or off. Cheap ass wood at Home Depot. But no, I went and did it. Looked up a video, YouTube, how the wood burn. Probably took the best one I could have looked. Went and bought that shit that day. It just started messing around with it. Got a little better with each one. And so when I finally did come back to Detroit, I had this new thing, this new energy that I'm carrying now that I didn't have when I left. And ever since I've been home, you know what I mean, I've been, amongst other things, but I've had that art bug in me, you know what I'm saying? I got it back, you know what I'm saying? And it took me down a path, you feel me? It took me down a road, you know what I'm saying? It opened up a world for me by embracing that thing that I used to do, then I put it off because the world told me I should do this. But it found its way, you know what I mean, in the midst of the chaos, just I found my way, and it gave me something that I didn't have, you know what I'm saying, or it just gave me a path, you know, like a more true to me path to walk.
And it's so funny you said that. I just want to stop you right here because already you've said so many different things, and I want to just kind of start to unpack. Like, so already you said you followed the traditional path, like go the engineering route, you know what I'm saying, do all these different things. And it's funny because you said it took you not even trying, but just having something that almost felt like it was aligned, you know what I'm saying, just in you moving in what you are already doing, to open your eyes, open your mind up to a brand new path that invoked a new spirit of inspiration that kind of unfolded into a new path into your life. And it's funny because, like I said, looking at the piece, The Wu-Wei, The Art of Effortless Living, I wanted to ask you, what is the art of effortless living? And it's funny because, like I said, everything that you just expressed, I feel like kind of ties into that, because when you pursue a path that other people kind of set out for you, you might hit all the boxes, but you might not necessarily feel the real fulfillment.
Right, it's not there.
And for me, it always has to make sense. Like, you gotta make it make sense. And just because it makes dollars, it's weird. They say I think it's both ways. They say if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And I feel that for sure. But sometimes, even if it does make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So where do you go from there? You know?
No, most definitely. It's a balance, bro. And so what that is, and that's kind of what that's about. That's a life. It's just like a overarching kind of life philosophy I came across. Again, you know what I'm saying, coming back to Detroit, because I had this art thing that I'm doing, but life wasn't all good. You know what I'm saying? I actually was suffering health issues down in Texas. First time in my life, you know what I'm saying? I never was sick, never had no major surgeries or nothing. So, you know, being down there and coming back, shit was just, I ain't know what was what, bro. I was just in the roughest space I ever been, you know what I'm saying? It was just, every day it was almost like hell. So, just not knowing what the fuck life was, you know what I mean? Existential crisis, truly.
A real paradigm breaker.
Yeah, like what is life, you know what I mean? And I'm sure so many of us of the same generation era have felt that same way at similar age for whatever reasons or different reasons, whatever those specifics are in your life, but it bring you to that point. And the honest truth, bro, it was some shit that just brought me peace at a time when I had none, you know what I mean? It just kind of put a certain rest to my soul with them words, the way they was hitting, bro. Like I listened to it every day. And I was I wasn't new to quote unquote spirituality either at that time, you know what I mean, for lack of a better term, higher thinking and whatnot. I used to study the Bible like it was my job, like trying to not, and I don't identify as a Christian, but I read that shit like, you know what I mean, like it was a textbook for school, you know what I mean, like, or studied it.
I like to think it's like a textbook for life. It still be helpful.
And it's wisdom in there, right? I'm just as a truth seeker, like not as a I'm this or in this box. I'm just reading all the shit. I'm reading the Quran. I'm reading the Taoist. I'm reading the art. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how my mind worked. Like I studied every religion. Like I'm not afraid to put two things up against each other and see which seem like the better one. You know what I mean?
I think that's knowledge. That's the path of knowledge and wisdom. You know
right.
what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of times religion is like very faith based. You feel what I'm saying? It's very practice based. It's very group based. But I feel like the search for wisdom, the search for knowledge, the search for understanding and spirituality, I feel like you can find that through religion. A lot of people do. But for other people, sometimes like it just, like I said, it doesn't make sense necessarily. Right. So I can definitely understand the path behind finding your own connection, your own meaning, your own understanding of what your life and your connection to the Most High or whatever form that takes.
Right. Yeah, decide for you. And I'll say everything definitely ain't for everybody. Yeah, like you said, some people kind of fit better with the religion thing, and ain't no knock to it. Whatever, religion that may be, or path, or
where you find your peace is kind of where you find your peace.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. As it guides you through this life, because as much as that means to me, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I'm a Taoist, but I take from it what makes sense and what's good, and you can secretize and synthesize and put things together. So that one in particular, though, to answer the original question, like what's it about? It's really just like it's the Chinese version of walk by faith and not by sight. That's probably a phrase that so many people heard because that's in the Bible. So that's, even if you ain't you've more than likely come across that saying, you know what I mean? Even if you ain't super deep into that, like a lot of people heard that walk. Have you ever heard that? Walk by faith, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something people say because that's more of a common Western phrase. But what people mean when they say that is basically what this is saying in another type of way. I kind of like the way they say it, but it's the doctrine of flow, or using, I guess, least resistance. You know what I mean? But you still, or the art of sailing versus rowing, right? We on the seas. That's the sea is life. I mean, a sailboat and a rowboat both going where you want to go, but one is very labor intensive. You pushing, you constant rowing, right? And that's the masculine, or the yang, right? And then you have the sailboat, which it is some work in that too, but once you got that up, the wind carry you.
The flow.
And you preserve your energy for longevity, whereas the rower gonna get tired a lot faster than you. They might be going faster for a time, but in the end, if you gotta do this the whole time, shit, you know what I mean? You burn yourself out versus I'm surfing now, I'm coasting,
and
the wave carry me.
Because I don't want to interrupt you, but literally right before you said that, my eyes instantly were drawn to this passage, and I just want to read it out loud real quick. It says,
go ahead, bro.
All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her.
So damn, and it has the she because in the Chinese, like when they're saying they, like the third person, they don't have a distinction between the male and the female. So the translator, the person who did this translation, he would interchangeably use he and she, because I know that's the thing with some people too, like God is a woman or God is a man, or you know what I mean. So, it's both, right? It's duality, like so. Yeah, he just used that interchangeably. I want to say that, but yeah.
And it's so funny
that in there
because I haven't familiarized myself with it yet. And like I said, that was really just the first thing my eye kind of caught. But literally,
all
just
streams flow to the sea.
You know, so just in breaking that down, it's crazy because when it talks about not being in competition with anyone else. You know what I mean? I feel like so much of life, so much of all the industries that so many of us are a part of are competition based, are performance fueled. And a lot of times we get so wrapped up, you know what I'm saying, in the quote unquote rat race, you know what I mean?
Right.
And trying to pursue a goal or trying to obtain some sort of possessions, you feel what I'm saying, or put on some kind of facade.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Or just not even saying that it's fake, but just some kind of front to show.
Yeah, feeling the need to always have that.
I am successful, I am this, I am that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people sometimes end up taking refuge in their own situations by feeling better than other people.
Right.
But when it's funny because, like I said, just looking at this now, the art of effortless living, to me, I feel like my best days came when I released the need to be anything other than who I am for anyone other than myself.
Right,
and I know, like I said, that might sound selfish.
Right.
But on the other hand, it's like
it's necessary
to know yourself.
Right. You have to. Yeah, bro. You have to do it for you. And the irony is, when you start doing that, it can make you your best self, and then whatever you're doing, you can do for other people, right? But you gotta serve yourself to be able to serve other people. And if you're a poor servant of self, you can't serve other people.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So, and knowing is half the battle, right? Because I still got shit I'm working through and trying to become better. So I'm not saying that like I just got the shit so figured out. But, you know what I mean, just end up like in the Florida combo, yeah, you know, it'll remind me, myself, like, yeah, I know this. Sometimes it ain't even a new thing. It's just, you gotta be reminded of a thing. Like, when you're a better servant of self, you can better serve others. So yeah, you do gotta take care of yourself, bro. And that's, you know, I've learned, you know, from experience, truly, you know what I mean, being at home. And I had put this, honestly, bro, I ain't never even been one to do this, you know what I mean, put all type of shit on social media, and I'm getting better with that, right? It's the content creation era. So, and this is another reason why I appreciate you.
Authenticity.
Yeah, and this is another reason I appreciate you even coming over here, setting up this crib, doing it. And I wanted to do it, but yeah, you know, just the whole process of me getting the house. I'm saying, like, bro, 2021, this real shit. 2021, January, I was at my mama crib, bro. And it's not that I had never left, but like my situation just had me back at home. Not working, this is the time when I'm doing my art and I'm truly exploring it. It's just funny how shit work. Cause I got put in a position where I ain't have nothing to do but this, right? And that's when I was able to do the most exploring and, you know, in that chaos state, bringing it all together. But 2021, bro, I'm at my mama crib. 2022, I'm living with a friend, you know what I mean? Slightly better situation, but still, you know what I mean? At this point, I'm damn near 30 years old. Like, I ain't trying to be, and that's another thing. We should be doing this by this age and what shit's supposed to be, you know, going off a boomer blueprint that we just in a different time, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, 2022 there, 2023, had a place, renting, and then 2024, I got my own crib. So it was just like every year, in January, right? Like January this year, New Year's, you know what I mean? If you look at that as a point of reference, and it's just boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? After having been down bad, like at the worst. But this is carrying me, you know what I mean, through that, or other things, or, you know, my spirit, but it comes out on this or in different ways. I had a medium to do that, you know what I'm saying? Or I guess I embraced it. And that's to bring all of that out and that put my stamp in the world, you know what I mean? You know. And
that's the thing, and I feel like it's so important to realize, because in those moments of you feeling down bad, of you feeling like, you know, you might have felt hopeless at times, you might have felt confused, you might have felt like, you know what I'm saying, like you might not know where to go or what to do. But it's funny because in the moment, right, it seems like it's unshakable. Yeah. But in hindsight, you can look back on these past years and be like, wow, that was just another stage in the progression of life, in the flow of life, and the ups and downs that are necessary in order for us to become the selves that we're hoping to achieve. Right. And that's why I feel like it's so important for people to share their stories and let people know, like, if you are going through moments of uncertainty, of doubt, of, you know, life-changing, life-shaking, life-breaking situations, that you can't necessarily, the only time you really lose is when you give up. Because if you give up too early, you'll never go back to the highs. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I just wanted to read that passage because that's something that stuck out to me. But if I can ask you, can you just maybe pull out one of these passages that have a significant meaning to your life that you could share with the people?
Yeah. Let me say something about that one first. I'm gonna pick another one, but yeah, that same one. I'll put that in there, right? Because this is only like a fourth of the whole book.
Okay.
So I just picked out the ones that meant the most to me that as I read through. But yeah, bro, all streams. It's just one of them epiphany type joints. Like when you say it, like it just hit first line, right? You read the whole passage, but even that, all streams flow to the sea because it's lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. You just said like people feeling the need to put this on or be this or be that, and I'm guilty of it too. I mean, we human, right? It's all right, and we from the city, bro. It is, you know what I mean? So we are who we are. We know how to do that more than anybody. But it's a balance with everything, and that's the thing with everything is balance, and that has its place. You know what I mean? It has its place. There's a time for everything, bro. You know what I mean? So there's a time to be on your shit and talk your shit, and you know what I'm saying? If not,
how about the big turn your swag on?
Yeah, you might have to that day. You know what I mean? Or for a while. You know what I mean? To get what you need going. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's the counterintuitive approach, but it also gives you, and I guess that's the metaphor for the whole thing. It's counterintuitive, but you in the end get exactly what you wanted, or even in a better way, because you might have been thinking trying to get this, but that's small. Like you could have had it like this, but you just think about that though. You know what I mean? Like let it be how it's gonna play itself, and you just just be true in you. You know what I mean? And you'll have that. You'll become the seed. You lowered yourself. You didn't try to be. And this go back to serving, right? I'm not trying to be better than everybody else. I'm serving. So I'm below people, right? But then I'm serving everybody. I mean, shit, you could think about that on some trapping shit, right? Like I'm serving, right? You know what I mean? But what you serving? What you pushing out here? I'm serving, so I put myself lower. But then I become the seed. You know what I mean? And so yeah, man, that's that one. That one hit. Another one. I got it in my head. I'm trying to see which one was it, bro? Cause I got the thought in my head. We can edit this shit if I forget too long. But it had to do with. It's gonna come to me, bro. It had to do with about keeping. About keeping staying right in here. I don't got nothing to prove, but to just be myself, right? It's about to come to me, bro. Oh yeah, so I'm trying to think of the exact quote, but no matter how splendid the views, the master stays serene in himself, saying like, you know that feeling you get when you on a rooftop, you know what I mean? You really just vibing or something, you on a little rooftop bar or whatever, you just kind of looking over the city, Detroit or something. It's one of them moments where you just in a moment where you reflect on everything, like damn, you know what I mean? You that's the feeling on top of the world.
Those heavy gratitude.
Yeah, like that. Or when you at the beach and looking out at the ocean, like damn, you know what I mean? Just at the infinite sea, like the waves and everything, just
appreciation of life.
Yeah, this is what life's supposed to feel like, you know what I mean? No matter how splendid the views, the master is serene. I've achieved a level of peace within me where the vibe you get when in that moment, I have that all the time. So the view ain't even gonna do that for me. No matter how splendid the view, that's just how I am that's what I carry with me on a regular. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the superpower that we all have. And I feel like a lot of times, especially living in America, right? Because people are struggling, it's fucked up, and it's like that in a lot of different places in the world, you know what I mean? But the number one tool I feel like to keep you locked into the matrix is to make you feel lacking. To make you feel like, I need this, I don't have this, I'm missing this. And what's crazy is that always kind of keeps you in a cycle or a series or a system of lack, no matter how much you might physically gain.
Right.
But it's so funny because I've learned once you internalize that abundance, once you've internalized that feeling of gratitude, that moment of gratitude, like you said, no matter what the views might be currently looking like, that energy can transmute over into your physical reality, into your life, and you start to notice yourself building and moving in that abundance once you apply, intention to it.
Word.
So I definitely see how that could be a very, very, very powerful philosophy in life for sure.
Yeah, no, that one hit from me, bro. And it's on here somewhere. I can't.
So, all right,
tap it, but that's just one that.
For those who might want to read the book, what is this book called?
So I mean, it's the Tao Te Ching, right? That's the ancient Chinese book, or I guess the prime piece of work for Taoism, that philosophy. And I got this here too. You know what I'm saying? And this is actually the Art of War, but I bought it. You see, they both on here: the Art of War, Tao Te Ching.
Okay.
That might be on here. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
whatever. But I got it for that one, but the Art of War is the first one, so this is the one they had on here. But yeah, that's the book they can read. But the thing is, they both go together. And again, bro, this goes back to the yin and yang, the masculine, feminine, the duality. Because the Art of War is somewhat the opposite of this, right? It's we talking about that sun, right? This Lao Tzu, that Sun Tzu. And it's somewhat the opposite, but there's wisdom in that, right? Like that's when this is a business book. The Art of War is a business book. Like, see, because that's the game you're playing where it might not be literal war, right? Like in old times, 10,000 people on the battlefield, Game of Thrones type shit, but spiritual war, it's just done in a different way, chess game. So, it's the opposite, but they have their similarities because this also talks about being like water and you gotta have a certain flow, which you can't be too rigid. There's a place for that, but it's a give and take, you gotta know where to show some give and to really be a strategic thinker, right? This is kind of letting go with the flow, and that's strategic thinking, which seem opposite, but they both have their elements. Even though this the yang, it got the yin dot in it, right? Even though this the yin, it got the yang dot in it, kind of balancing it out. So yeah, that's it's two poles, but they come together they both have elements of their own wisdom. So that's what the dragon one is, though, right? This is the Art of Effortless Living, and then that's the Art of War. That's what I named it, right? And the words on there are from the Art of War.
Makes sense.
Right, same type of thing. So here, I guess we could grab that one and read one off of there. I don't got that one like down pat like how I got this one, but read one off of there or see what's on there.
This too. I'll hold that up to the camera. You don't see it.
Alright, so yeah, the very first one. Military tactics are like unto water, for water in its natural course runs away from high places and hastens downward. So in war, the way is to avoid what is strong and to strike what is weak. So, with this military, this fighting, this war, but at the same time, he's saying be like water, you know what I mean? So yeah. Using that, referencing that element as something to be like or to imitate.
Really? So I feel like we talked about a couple of things that inspire your art, obviously. So philosophies in there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, Asian
right
styles.
And everything we did so far, I had you thinking that I'm just straight Chinese with everything I do, but
I think there's more of a spiritual element than necessarily just. And I will say we cannot understate the importance of the cultural element.
Right,
but there's a deeper spiritual element that kind of revolves around a universal truth. I definitely feel like that can be identified in your things.
No, and that is something that's.
So let me ask you, what are some of your other inspirations? Like I know me personally, the city, Detroit, is a huge inspiration in my work. So could you maybe speak to how Detroit has inspired some of your art pieces and what else inspires your art pieces?
Yeah, so I got a Detroit piece. Let me grab it right here. Matter of fact, we'll show this one real quick.
I love how we just get to flex all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm one of my favorite parts of the show, I'm not gonna lie.
No, for sure. So this is a Detroit piece, bro, and I had it in the show. Here, I'm gonna just show it here, you know what I'm saying? I did the Spirit of Detroit, right? But I put the fro on them. I kind of put, if you're familiar with the Japanese, like the koi style, or like how they make the waves, that water style, I forget what to call it. But if you've seen like the koi fish, you know what I'm saying, different tattoos, or that's like a popular, like traditional Japanese, anyway, it's a certain way they make the clouds. I kind of made the hair like that. And yeah, bro, you know, I had to go look. In the other hand, right, he holding up like the sun in the one hand, but in the other hand, it's like another two people he looking at. But I just swapped it out with the double C Cartier. You know what I mean? Just putting. Yeah. We already go without saying how much that means. But basically, you know, from what I'm saying, the spirit of Detroit is black. You know what I'm saying? The black people are the spirit of Detroit. So we the you know what I mean? It's what we've had. This has a special place in our hearts more than everybody else who do it because we do it. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? This was a piece I made, just something kind of old to the city, but yeah, bro. Another element of Detroit art, you know, again, I kind of used to always do very detail-oriented type work. So more than anything, just doing portraits, you know what I mean? Just drawing people, kind of just making whether portrait photography or portrait drawing, you know, anytime you make something of somebody, it's like, that's a timestamp. We all change, we all age, we grow, you know what I mean? How you look today ain't necessarily how you're gonna look a year from now, you know what I mean? Certain little, you know, just the smallest thing, you know what I mean? A picture's worth 1,000 words, so it's just another picture, and you know what I mean? Some like I give them to people, they get to keep them, or you know, I sell different ones, celebrity shit, but yeah, for people of Detroit, you know, I've done a lot of portraits of people, family portraits and stuff like that, so I guess that's another way, you know what I'm saying? I draw what I see. I want to say this too, because I was actually talking about this with Henry yesterday, and we could talk about him later on here. So, but Breakfast Club, all that. I was talking to him about this yesterday, and it's just me being real with myself, because it's different types of art, bro, and different people not competing. We all in our own lane, or every artist's work is their own work in its own way, and something that I feel like helping me moving forward, and I'm willing to admit is. I'm actually not the most creative person. Like, this is creative, yeah, and I do got some creative juices, but I draw what I see. That's truly what it's always been, you know what I'm saying? So a portrait, you're not creating something, you're drawing a person who exists.
It's artistically.
Yeah, it's a technical thing. I'm good at creating the illusion of light refraction, you know what I mean? But to dream something up that don't exist, and make that's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Conversation recently.
Abstract, right? That's a completely different thing. Or maybe it is realism, but some people who do, you know, the caricatures or just, you know, just put a lot more flex with it. Like, I'm drawing you, but I'm gonna make you look like this, and I'm gonna, you know, exaggerate the features, or you know, some Botero type stuff, or you know, almost caricature-like. People who are really creative in that way, who could do stuff like that. Were you familiar, just by random chance, his name was like Kim, what was it, Kim Jong? It was a Korean dude, let me not say the wrong name, and this wild shit. Man, it was a Korean artist, bro, but he was the absolute master of true, like, freehand, like, he would just make freehand masterpieces, bro. Like, not even on some autistic, like, on the spectrum type shit, but just really learned, he through a long, lengthy process, trained himself and learned how to do it, just crazy, right? But that's like one in a million type artist, but it ain't a lot of people like that. So people who can do the real creative shit, I got the most respect for them. I've always been a more technical artist. I guess this kind of go back to like me having studied engineering and shit too, like math, science, just thinking about stuff in terms like that. So yeah, and so it's not always, I don't always have new ideas. Like, people will come to Breakfast Club, whatever. Some people got new shit every week, you know what I mean? You just banging paintings out, or oh, I need 30 for a show, all right, cool. Like, banging out pieces, where I'm getting my ideas from what I see or what I reference. So
yeah, bro.
That's the type of art I've done, and I'm trying to get better and be more open. You saw my that abstract piece I did back there,
right?
You know what I mean? Just try to do the complete opposite thing. And just like, all right, let me break out of this mold, try something, and you know, made something I thought was halfway decent with that. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been, what I've tried, recognizing that and trying new things and growing with it, with creativity.
Real. It's funny because I feel like I kind of identify with the opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I'm a lot more creatively skilled, than necessarily technically skilled. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I feel like both processes are the same in the sense that you grow in each lane through practice and repetition. And so I feel like in order to get the technical skill, you have to repetitively practice technical processes. But in order to gain in creativity, you have to repetitively practice, creative processes.
Yeah.
So for me, I feel like a lot of what goes into my creativity is, well, for one, it's inspired by the emotions, the things that I'm going through. Another part of it is exactly tapping in with myself. Another part of it is the inspirations or the things that inspire me, the things that I take in, like you were saying, how the people who you will do a portrait of kind of inspire your art, because you're taking something directly from them. So if I can just kind of pivot, I want to talk about the importance of, and it's funny because you mentioned Henry, so I kind of want to slide him into here too.
Right.
The importance of community, the importance of the people around you that inspire your art, and then also the importance of mentorship.
Yeah, so community, honestly, bro, community is everything. You know what I'm saying? It makes it changes the whole dynamic of everything. It allows everybody to, I won't say see success, and again, you gotta define success for yourself, right? But it creates a space for, at least here in Detroit, the community that we have set up, where people can thrive. You know what I mean? It creates a space of, I think you said this at the beginning, like not being about competition for real, more collaboration. I mean, there is a certain element, and I remember I wanted to talk on that too. Living a life where you're not in competition, and that has its place, right? And it's, it exists in the world, but when you moving at a certain frequency, you got enough people, you got enough of a group, it can be a collaborative effort. It really brings the spark to it all. So I know I'm not the first person to say this, but it low-key might sound like exaggerating, but like, bro, we got one of the best art communities in the country, shit, if not the world. You know what I'm saying? And not even on, like, I don't even feel like I would be exaggerating if I said that shit. For real, speaking about the city.
Just in what I've seen, I've seen and what I know of, at least.
Truly, so, it's everything, bro, and it gives you the space to share and, connect with others and, get your stuff out there. It's no guarantee of anything. It ain't just because you come into space, you gon', you gotta put work in, or you just gonna make whatever, some crazy number you got in your head. It's all out there, but, bro, it's everything, man. It creates the right environment for people to thrive and for you to make it into what you want it to be, your art, what you want your art to be for yourself, because everybody got different goals.
And let me just ask you real quick. So for someone who might not necessarily know how to enter a creative community, because there's different types of people. There are people who don't have creative communities around them, and then there are people who are kind of around creative communities, but they might feel a bit on the outside. They might feel some kind of anxiety about joining and talking and not really knowing how to go about entering a creative community. So what could you say are maybe some tips or tricks? I know we were kind of lucky to have Breakfast Club and Henry who kind of just ushered us in, you know what I'm saying? But what are some tips and tricks I could say for adding value to a creative community or putting yourself out there? If I could just give one example, I know, like I said, just in you curating the show, you put me in the show last year. And that actually just meant a huge amount to me, because in times where I was even doubting myself and where I stood in the creative community, it was an opportunity for me to show I have been doing work, I am still putting things, and the value of my time and effort does have merit, what I mean? So I know just in creating opportunities is one thing, but how does someone on the outside go about coming in?
Like you mentioned, bro, we were fortunate to kind of have a certain space, and that they had been building up for years, but for somebody so we know what that looks like in first hand. But to somebody somewhere else, I would suggest just trying to find the closest thing to that, right? And then we're seeing what that is for your city. If there are any people who are serious about it. I guess looking at it from our perspective, we see who the collectors are. Don't only look to connect with other artists but find the people who make it a priority to buy art. You know what I mean? Like, you should want to get to know them too. You know what I mean? You might not identify as much, but this is where those two worlds intersect. You know what I'm saying? It made me think of a funny meme. I saw that shit online, what people who create art, like what they look like, or the people who buy art, and then it's like, oh, you know what I mean, they in suits and shit and sipping, and the people who make art, and it was just like some bugged out ass person, like, you know what I mean, some strung out ass, you know what I mean.
And it's so funny, 'cause like, I feel like
type motherfucker.
that's one of the hugest. I feel like that's one of the hugest debacles, I guess I can say, that we go through as artists now. You know, how do we make that bridge? How do we connect the collectors to the artists who are worthy, you know what I'm saying, of being collected, but might not necessarily have that exposure, might not necessarily have those names behind them?
Yeah.
I know, like for me, galleries help a lot, but also I've always felt like there are two lanes you can go. You can either be made or you can make your own way.
Right.
I'll say it straight up, like, you can either be made or you can make your own way when it comes to this art shit. And a lot of times, when you make your own way, you're going to be made regardless. So that's kind of the route I've always leaned towards. Yeah. But I will say, there is you cannot ignore the significance and importance of politically traversing the art world, no matter if it's on a local or a national or an international level, you know?
Yeah, no, it's there's you know, gatekeepers for sure. And I don't necessarily even say that in a bad way. It can be a bad thing, maybe, you know, it's necessary in some cases. I'm saying
it depends who has the keys.
Right, yeah.
It depends who has the keys.
Word, and it's history written by the victor. If you're in that position, you can be that person. So, you know, not to make a be for or against, I'm just saying it exists. So, you know, that can hinder some things, but yeah, how do we make that connection? I mean, it start with the sale, and the galleries transact the sale. You just said it, bro. It depends on who has the keys. So the people who are putting things together have to want to infuse that element in it, or keep that part of it and not make it purely a dollar, you know. And it's business at the end of the day, like anything else. It's a business, right? But you gotta, you know, to some degree, keep a pure spirit in there. I mean, that's what I tried to do. So again, to go back to the Hidden Gems event, that's how I felt about certain tattoo artists. Like, how do people get to see this and know that this is worthy of being collected, right? It's how you present it to somebody. This made me think of the Ablo thing where he said, like, what is it? You know, I could have something and call it some art. It could be a piece of trash and I'll say it's art and you'd be like, oh, whatever. But if I got it in this nice white walled, well lit up room and tape a banana to the wall, or I got this, you know, I can spin it that way to you. You know what I mean? As we can see examples of that. If you selling it out the back of no matter the piece, like it could be some museum worthy piece, but to somebody who don't know no difference, if you selling it out the back of your trunk, it just look like it ain't worth shit because you selling it out the back of your trunk. You know what I'm saying? But you know, not even knowing what this is or what it, you know what I mean, who made it or the story behind it. So for better or for worse, presentation, you know, presentation matters. Trying to get, you know, having a space where those two people can converge. This is some funny shit. At a Breakfast Club meeting, bro. This is when we was at Noni's. It made me think. It was a certain artist. I ain't gonna say no names or nothing, right? But it was a moment, something I saw at the corner of my eye that kind of made me think. It was a certain artist, right? And then, you know, it's more of a street kind of person, you know, a little more rough and tough, right? And then, but one of the collectors is you know, like a judge, you know what I'm saying? A court judge, like, you know what I mean? On the other side of the world, you know what I mean? Like, two different worlds, you feel me? But they having a conversation, you know what I mean, in this moment as equals, because the judge liked this person's work. You know what I'm saying? So they just talking as two people. It ain't this, you know, I'm from this world. We separate. I'm the rich collector with the money. You the poor artist, starving artist. It ain't that. We just two people who like the same thing, appreciate it. You like what I make. You know what I'm saying? I see you as human. You see me as human. We vibing. We connecting. And it just, it breaks that barrier down. I'm thinking like, what other scenario would these two people be having a conversation? What would it be about? It's probably in a courtroom.
As equals on both people's mind,
Or how y'all came to even be, conversing with each other. This a judge. In so many other instances, it would be in a courtroom, young black kid caught up in some shit. Now I'm in the courtroom talking to this person, they handing me down, you know what I mean? That's when I see you, when I'm in this position in my life. But, it's, how many endless cases of that. But in this, about this art though, a person like this and a person like that, we equals having a conversation about something we love, and, I make this thing, you want this thing in your home. You get what I'm saying? I guess, did I paint the picture? It brings.
I think that's the power of art.
Yeah, it's the power. It can bring.
The connection.
It's the connection of it, and it can bring people together. So this is the thing to do it, right? We need the right spaces and places, I guess, to be able to do it. To bring that forward, and I like to think I made a small dent. Of course, we'll do more in the future, that was a stamp. You know what I mean? That was my first big thing. But the vibe of that was immaculate, though.
It was great,
man. It was
true.
And
like I said, it was one of the highlights of my year for sure.
Yeah, so. And a lot of people noticed. So we was chopping it up about Eastern Market and all that stuff, and what. Or potentially what's in store. So I don't want to put too much. I don't want to.
Right, you already know. Hey,
you know what I mean?
What's understood ain't even got to be explained. You feel me? That's already moved.
So, but that was something. That's something I could just genuinely say that was something I was proud of that I did. You know what I mean? I felt like a cap. Like that was the not the end, but everything I had did in the art space in Detroit since I came back. Just discovered this new wood burning thing. Just really just truly for real, like making something out of nothing, bro. Like. The first 2 years of this shit was me just doing little fucking wood burning on cutting boards in my room when I'm fucked up at my mom's crib. You know what I'm saying? Like doing other shit to get my life together, but when I'm at the crib, I'm, trying to live shit out on cutting boards. And I ain't know nothing about Breakfast Club or none of this shit at that time. I'm just doing it though. You know what I mean? And one thing all led to another to get me here. But yeah, me doing that show was the cap on everything that I had done up until that point, right? With the tattoo stuff, the fine art stuff, bringing them together, showcasing, bringing something instead of always fighting to be in somebody else's show, putting something of my own together.
And I think
I had to learn that, and there's a space to,
And I just want to stop you right there because I think that's so important. I feel like so many people are dismayed from their journey because, they're making super dope shit, straight up. And they're putting it out there and they feel like they can't find any opportunities to show it. If you're in this situation, let me tell you something. Do it yourself. Put the play down. Yeah. And I know like a lot of times like the money thing can be a thing. You feel like the space thing might be a thing. And this might sound inconsiderate, but I'm not trying to sound that way. I'm giving you the best advice I can, and it's figure it out. It's open your minds, open your mouth. And go out there and figure it out. Word. Because at the end of the day, when you put that in your own heart, when you put that in your own mind and your own intention, then that's when the universe starts to open up to you. And then that's when you start to meet the people who might help you open those doors. Be smart out here. You know what I'm saying? Don't be thirsty for anything. But I'm telling you, if you're feeling blocked, then you need to make your own way.
Word, yeah. Just to piggyback on that, it truly is easier said than done. But yeah, to some degree. You have to do it, or you have to push the envelope forward, and then you'll connect with the right person, or who can guide you a little bit more. But that was my version of it. Like, and one thing that inspired me was a few things, right? With the Art of Effortless Living piece that I showed. I want to give this quick story too, because I feel like this highlights something. I showed this. That's like my soul on some wood, bro, for real. But again, so that's some Chinese art, right? I'm showing it in the city, black collectors, and that's really what the space is about. And I love black art and black collectors, right? That's a Chinese piece. I show it, people love it. They admire the work and everything. no one wants to purchase it though. Now I'm not torn about that because it's something I'm happy to keep.
Let's put a pin in that because let's talk about it.
Yeah, but you know, sales. Let's get on the business tip a little more. But I'm just on some real shit like, all right, so everybody looking at this shit, they blown away, but why ain't nobody buy it? But something I learned later is at the end of the day, we love it, but I'm here to collect black art, and that's not black art, which is true. That's true. It's not. So I can't argue with that.
Is it not black art because a black artist made it though?
Well, I guess you could say that.
Like I would say, but I guess it's all perspective. I would say that, but I could understand they might.
I guess that's what they wanted to represent in their space where they hang it, or in their collection, because these are collectors and they're strategic or can be strategic in what they want to get in their collection, right? But so it just make you have to decide like. At that point, I'm like, all right, who am I truly making it for? Am I making this for me or am I making this for them? Like, because that determines how you feel about whether or not it gets sold. I felt some type of way. This is one of the best shits I ever did. Like, how y'all not? And people was the last 3 people who went up before me sold. So I'm like, oh, here I come with the heat. And then, all right, so, I'm like, all right, what's up? So I learned a little lesson, but, yeah, that's a quick little thing. An experience I had. So other artists I'm sure have felt that. Everybody feel it at some point. Staying on the business tip. This is something I learned. You may or may not. I learned this from a guy about business, bro. And this wasn't even related to art necessarily, but it's literally a YouTube video. Diamond Dave, stock trader, how to sell anything to anybody. That's the name of the video. And one of them, he had a couple principles, but the main one. This ain't about selling art, bro. This is just how to sell anything to anybody. The main principle that he harped on the most was sell people what they want, not what you want to sell them, right? We want to sell people our art. But if you're looking at something, and I've truly come to see the wisdom of this with time, not just with art, but with anything, like how people get success, or maybe you don't do it this way, but this was, one of the principles he highlighted. Sell people what they want, not what you want to sell them. And if you look at stuff from that lens, it can take a lot of the confusion out of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, or even on some old street shit, like, don't get high off your own supply. Like, I don't even use this shit. This is what y'all want. You know what I mean? You might sell the Arabs or the Chaldeans who own the liquor store. They not drinking. They don't be drinking, but they'll sell that shit to you though. That's what you want. It ain't what I want, but I'm selling you what you want. You know what I mean? Or the Korean beauty supply, like, they here different. Like, but this y'all shit. We selling y'all shit to you. You want the black hair products because we black people, right? It's not necessarily maybe. I don't know what they use, right? They got different hair, but I'm selling you what you want. But you know what I mean? So there's a thing in there with marketing where marketing is influencing what people want, or you want to show them why they should want this. But some things people, I guess they say sells itself, or you don't have to make them want it. I just I serve the people, right? Place yourself below them. Like, I'm not trying to, this go back to the sea analogy, like, I'm not trying to necessarily make you want anything. I'm just letting you show what you want, and then I'll serve you that. So if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying it's not even necessarily about changing what you do to fit people's tastes. It's more so doing what you do, seeing what people want from you, and then giving them that. Yes.
Is that what you're trying to get at? Or?
Yeah. I think through an art lens, absolutely. Because that's the thing about art is, and we talked about this before, you got to do it for you. There's the pure business aspect of it, and then there's the artist soul, right? Though this is the soul of it, which is artist life, like truly, it is artist life. So there's a soul element of it, or your spirit, this being a medium, this that. I didn't make that piece. The inspiration behind it wasn't about money. That was just, it meant so much to me, right? And then the big artist, on the business aspect of things, many months down the road, I did put it out in the marketplace. So there's that dichotomy. There's that balance of, in the art space of, you said commercial success
versus personal success.
Yeah, versus, and what are you chasing? Or maybe, you know, it comes a certain, you do it for me and it ends up being for them in a way. So I think like, yeah, how you flipped it, to make it in an art context, to not let it be a soulless business transaction. Yeah, maybe find out people.
Because then it becomes the same as
anything else.
You know what I'm saying? As what else is in 40 touches. So I feel like that's
the juggling act. Yeah.
Because you know, as artists, we're all on different levels. There's some artists who have no quote unquote success, right? Like they're not where they want to be and they're not selling what they want to sell. You feel what I'm saying? Then you have some artists who are moderately successful. You feel what I'm saying? They're selling some things, you know, and they see options of where they can go. And then you have artists who are successful, you know, they're making what they want to make and people are buying it, you know what I'm saying? That's a certain level. But then what about the artists, right, who are commercially successful but not personally successful? And I feel like art, business, that's so many people to where it's like, yeah, the bank account hitting, yeah, I'm getting it off. But damn if I'm not disgusted with who I am and where I'm at, because what I'm really doing doesn't align with what I want to be doing. And I feel like at that point it kind of becomes a whole different prison, you know what I mean? So how does an artist best traverse that line in finding what's for them, but also still being able to be commercially or business-wise financially successful?
Yeah, so I've been on both sides. Again, to when I was messed up, you know, kind of fucked up in life, you know, bad working situation. I'm gonna highlight that too because I think that's important to be said. Just for full transparency too, we touched on this, but like I do have a job outside of art, so I don't even want to. I'm gonna throw that out here. I won't front.
It's
like,
not paying the bills yet.
I'm calls out here. You know what I'm saying, or whoever. You know, what we was looking at, Jeff Koons, or you know, some you know, through the moon with financial success artists who literally pays my way through life off that alone. I do got a job and career outside of this, you know what I'm saying? But again, there was a time where I was thugging off the art completely and I wasn't winning. I was a little more tapped in with myself, a bit higher up on the creative side. So much, you know, pain can be inspiration. I was in a painful point, but that's what you got them feeling, so you can put stuff out there. And I'm at a different point in my life right now. I do work full time, so I don't make art as much, but I can make what's true to me because I'm not as pressed about the bread. But I do, or I guess I ain't on the street if it don't sell, you know what I'm saying? But
I feel the same.
But wanting to grow too, right? So to answer your question, yeah, you know, how do you traverse that? I've been on both sides, bro. I think it's really just, you gotta figure out what you want for you. Maybe
knowing your limit, knowing where your lines are.
I'm willing to be real with myself about it. Maybe I may or may not be the most gigantic commercial success, but I do wanna, you know, kind of put my stamp out there, or just, you know, get out of me what I feel is in me. And from having done the show and everything, though, I am taking a little bit more of a commercial direction because I see the business of it, right? A bit more of a commercial direction moving forward with curating. And you know, we was talking about this before we got on the show. Like, I got the crib set up, we just showing how everything is and it's laid out. Like, you know, do a show here, and you know, kind of operate more as a gallerist and a curator, and be about the business. But you know, if you're an artist who really got a niche, bro, like find how you said, find what people want from you, but just know try to figure out best you can for yourself what you want it to be. Are you okay if you never become a 7-figure net worth person purely off of art? Like, is that okay, or is it that or bust? You know what I'm saying? Like,
just know, because I think both is okay. Like, just know it's true for you. And don't let that definition be based off someone outside of yourself.
And if somebody was to be like, bro, I do this art shit for the bag, I don't even care for real, but people just be liking my shit, so I do it and I sell it, and you know, it's just another hustle, whatever. If something paid more, I go do that. If somebody honestly said that, I'll be like, for sure, bro. Like I won't be mad at that. Shit, I damn near need to maybe kiss.
It's a struggle for me not to stay in that bag. Like I promise you that.
If somebody said and they was hating with it though,
it's deeper than that though.
Yeah, if you prove your success, like I don't care what people, but I got a formula people like. I couldn't even be mad at you. I couldn't be mad at you, and I wouldn't tell you to do otherwise. If you good in here, you know what I mean? If the interviews is serene, like we was talking, you know what I'm saying? Then by all means, bro, get it. This is another situation where I don't necessarily want to put nobody's name out there, but I have heard of a situation where, an artist was having a significant amount of success. You know, they are getting money and getting consistent work and doing brand deals or whatever. I'm doing work with this business, blah, blah, selling paintings for high amounts. But expressing that, I kind of got locked in with it. Everything is branding, right? You created a brand. The brand was successful. You still have this desire to do other things outside of that brand, and that's not necessarily the best ROI activity for what you've already created, right? So they, kind of don't get to express in the way that they would as much, and stating that and being honest about that.
Because people have already locked them into a lane.
Yeah, and that lane is successful. It's hitting. They get money from it, and it's doing well. I'm, feeding my family, taking care of business. So that's not a bad place to be in, right? But while so many artists strive to be that, or want to be that, or that's an ideal type situation.
It's like a grass is always greener type of thing.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm grateful for it, I'm thankful for it, there's still its own issues.
It comes with its own things. Yeah, it is a very grass is type greener. So they live in that life that so many people want or say they would love to live, and that'd be amazing. But that's a challenge there too. And somebody might say, well, I'll gladly take that challenge. Cool, you know what I mean? But just know that that exists there too. So, somebody could find some solace in that. Honestly, like, you know what? I'm not some super huge artist or whatever, but you know what? Because of that, I do have the freedom to explore or try different stuff. Ain't nobody gonna be telling me like, bro, what are you doing? Get back on that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, if, let's say I was just sold out, let's say people just loved my shit so much, and I was doing well, but then the abstract piece that I wanted to make, because I did want to kind of just explore that. Somebody telling me, nah, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or this is the space that I'm in, though. This is what I feel I need to do to balance out everything, or to evolve and explore another part of myself. I've always been super technical. Let me open up. Let me just try a different vibe or a different flow, and I got the freedom to do that.
And to me, bro, I feel like I said, personally, to me, that makes sense. Like, I don't remember what movie it was. I think it was Nope. But they were talking to this movie director, and he was like, every two I do for them, I get to do one for me. Yeah. And I it was a very insignificant part of the movie, but for some reason, it stuck out to me so much. Because I imagine being a super, super avant-garde, super, super awesome director who has all these ideas about doing all these different kind of films, but everybody knows you for doing action flicks, right, or comedies, or kid flicks. You feel what I'm saying? And you're just kind of pigeonholed into that. I feel like, in a way, like, there's like, how much of your soul do you kind of want to sell? Like, and it sounds insane, but at the end of the day, it's like, you go to work every day. When you go to work, guess what? If you didn't know, you're selling your soul. You're selling your life. And it's okay. Like, it's kind of what this Matrix is built on. I'm sorry to say.
It's just how much of it. How much of it? Where on the scale are you with this shit?
And so I feel like if you are in that bag, then you have to figure out, like, okay, it has to pay the bills, but I also have to be okay sleeping at night. I also have to feel like my career isn't a prison. And I feel like it's really important as an artist to understand before you get to that point, when you're nearing that point. Because that's when you realize it's time to go back within, it's time to evaluate some things, and it's time to figure some things out. You know what I mean? But Larry, I feel like we've talked about so many different things today, and there's still so many more questions.
I feel the same shit. Or stuff that we need to cover or could cover.
We probably gonna have to do a part 2 for sure. But before we get out of here today, I definitely want to make sure I ask this question. what can an artist out there do to find their flow? I know just in our conversation today, you've expressed so many different things, the ups and downs of your creative journey, times of uncertainty, times of fulfillment. What can an artist who's either just starting off now, an artist who maybe has made art in the past and kind of wants to get back into it, or someone who's just in the dead-ass day-to-day grind of the shit right now, what can they do to continue finding their flow or to find their flow initially?
Well, I would say, to find your flow, as best you can. This is something that is obviously going to develop and change over time. As best you can, try to figure out what you want this to be for you, you know what I mean? Or what really matters to you with it. That can change with time, and that's cool. But wherever you are and the season you in now, right? Whether you're just getting off started or experienced artist, and whatever season you in now, like what would you like this to be? Get as clear on that as you can. I think the one point we touched on is major too. Connect with other artists for sure. Community matters. Try to connect with people who prioritize buying too though, just so you can have that mix in your world to some degree, right? Even if that's not that important to you.
Where are the buyers? How do you find buyers?
Yeah.
Where are they?
Hey, I guess I never necessarily did this myself. Go to a gallery, go to a show, and see who. Oh, the red sticker on there. Who got that? You know what I mean? Like, they bought it. Let me go. Talk to this person for 5 minutes real quick. Okay, and like again, this galleries create the spaces for people for that to not be an awkward thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we all in here appreciate the same thing, no matter what walk of life you from. Or what you from, where I'm from, like in this room we on the same tip. So
I don't even want to just keep interrupting you with questions, but it's probably in mind. Who buys art? How do you know when someone buys art? Like obviously they spend money on it, but it's like, what do you feel like a collector, like what's the archetype? You know what I'm saying? Like what is an art collector like? Obviously they have to have enough money, to spend on art. But even still there's different levels of collectors. Yeah. So what is it about art? Like what type of person do you have to find in order to be someone who collects? You know what I mean? Like I know I collect, but that's
Well, outside of that space, in my experience, bro, the people who really be buying this stuff, I mean, they do be kind of like, I guess I don't even want to use that word. I was gonna say.
Because there's looky-loos and then there's buyers. Let's talk about it. Like,
right. The people that's actually
people will love your art up and down, and I got love for that as well. But it takes a certain type to really spend that cheese.
Cut the check.
Cut the check. You feel me? Like we can get real.
People who have, I think it comes down to certain values, bro. The dude on what the quote say, you said it was your favorite one. Like people know the price of everything, but don't know the value of anything. People, artists really, and collectors kind of have this understanding. Art can be and is like a social currency. They're investors. People who collect art are investors. Don't even think about it like the paintings and shit. I mean, think about people who collect the little the heads, like the little Pokemon. It'd be like the Pokemon shit or the anime. I forget what they call it. The
Pops.
Yeah, Pops. You know what I'm saying? People have collections. Or Pokemon cards in 2024 is still a thing. Like,
it is.
And then ask yourself, if you're a millennial, ask yourself why. Because that's probably not crazy to you. Ask yourself why. That was everything to us. It represents a certain time in our life and that stuff, the nostalgia, and everybody got their own pocket. Like, just how we do with this art and all this antique, bro, these books, like, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers, the Sotheby's, and let me put this up real quick. I don't know if it's
drop the gems.
But just
for book recommendations, we got the whole
collectors and shit. But this we got the carpet. I do got got the deal on the Persian rug. Me just being in the spaces that I'm on. This is not me flexing or bragging either. I'm just
but it's things I like.
You said, who are collectors? I can't believe it myself sometimes. Did I really just drop this bread on a carpet? Like, who does that? But, you know what I'm saying?
People who understand the value of things.
Yeah, who value, and I pulled this up to show a book, bro. Fine Oriental European carpets, like, this is Sotheby's book, a catalog, bro. These are like the old rugs. Some of these bitches go for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for like the old palace rugs and, area joints. But, this is like the Arabic art. You know what I'm saying? They weren't painters in Islam and stuff like that.
They put their art in
their art
tapestries
in tapestries and rugs and this type. So who would buy all that money for a rug? This A stuff. The Persian, right? Iranian, Persian. This is made in Iran. Iranian, Persian, or Oriental, just being broadly that region. Even India, right? Because some of these are here.
Asiatic.
Yeah, Asiatic. Some of these are Indian. Right? They even say European. Some in here, but. You know, those lines get blurred. Turkey, you know, places that have that Taj Mahal style architecture, you know, that
Eastern Moorish influence culture.
Right, yeah, Moroccan, Moorish, you know, type stuff. So you might look at this and be like, who dropped all that bread on a rug? But it's actually not an uncommon thing. It represents, right, sheets, you know, sheets and shit. So it's a social currency that, you know, it's culture, bro. Art is culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's people who buys art, people who understand culture, people who drop. It's no different than I know you involved way more than me. I'm not involved at all. Like the fashion world, like who buys this, or you know how you dress, or fashion is culture. So
people who appreciate expression.
Some, you know, and that's another way. So somebody could say, man, y'all dumb. You know, the mentors will say, man, y'all stupid for spending all y'all money on them Jordans and them shoes, but literally, motherfucking Michael Jordans have literally become an asset class. Like, you can buy some Jordan, it will retain. StockX is $1 billion company off a sneaker exchange. Who made that shit hot in the United States of America?
Going up.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Nike, literally, I mean, we was just looking at it. Let me show this too. Yeah, we might as well,
Right. Get them a good book recommendations all
books out there, you know what I'm saying? But shout out to the homie for getting me some of these too. But this like a juxtaposition. So these the old, you know, Sotheby's and stuff. This is what the old money people, the catalogs that they read. You know, people with old money from the Gilded Age, the golden age of capitalism in America. You know what I'm saying? When you know, that inspired Boston Edison type homes and, you know, just that's the architecture styles and all that, right? But this art shit, this Nike though, right? The story of Phil Knight, Pharrell, that's
places
another
spaces.
Places and spaces I've been, that highlights that too. You know, the power of Nike and what Michael Jordan and that brand, that's our thing. So we made it worth something, right? So art is worth, it can go back to like the value of it. It's worth whatever you believe it's worth, but what's valuable to me may or may not be valuable to you, right? It's a social currency. It represents something. It just represents what's important to you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the crazy part about it. How value is created versus, you know, I guess connected with selling people what they want. What they want, but then we made you want the shit, or we, you know. Everybody else wanted it, or a big enough group wanted it, and it hit critical mass, so the rest of the world wanted it. But man, keep vibing on that. Who creates art? People who appreciate culture, people who understand culture, and that can be subcultures too, right? Not like actual. This is the culture of this country, but you know, subcultures within that, hip hop culture, sneaker culture. Yeah, the Pharrell one, I mean, he overlapped in all of those worlds in a way that few people do. Music, fashion, you know, visual art. He even did some furniture stuff, you know what I'm saying? So just having fun with it.
Creative mind.
Yeah, completing side quests with it. Like, got to that level in life, you know what I'm saying?
That's kind of a big key in finding your flow, or keeping my flow. It's like, what did Drake say? As soon as I stop having fun with it, I'll be done with it. I'm very big on that. I'm very big on that. And I will say the art journey isn't always fun.
It's not.
Like there's gonna be seasons for everything. But one thing I know is the feeling that my heart gets when I create something new, when I share a new piece of work, when I look at something that someone else has created, that will always be something that my soul recognizes, you know what I'm saying, in terms of alignment, fulfillment, and igniting passion. But I think when you can understand what your soul gets excited about, then you're that much closer to the path of where you're supposed to be moving and grooving on this life thing.
Yeah, bro.
Most definitely. Thank you again, Larry.
Follow your highest excitement.
For sure. Gotta follow your passion, gotta follow your You want vivaciousness for life. So Larry, I just want to say thank you again. We're probably, bro, we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Right.
We still got to talk about traveling. Okay, my man's international. We ain't talking about Mexico. We didn't talk about Brazil yet. Okay, it's plenty of things we still have to get into.
No doubt.
Is there anything you want to leave the audience to look forward to before we go? Anything that you want to direct their attention to? Anything you want to plug?
I would say, bro, I don't want to, for me, a lot of stuff is still.
Where can we find you? Where can we find
bro,
you on social media,
the
artwork?
IG, I had the Hidden Gems website, right? When we do number 2, we bring that back. But on social media, IG is LJAY Turnbow, TURNBOW, LJ Turnbow. I'm an artist, I'm a curator, I'm a tech professional, I'm a human being, bro. I'm somebody going through this life journey like everybody else, taking, with all the bumps and bruises, the rocks in the road, the highs and the lows, the joys, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a human being. That's all I'm trying to represent, bro. Authenticity, with how I live and the art that I make and what I do. And catch me on IG, LJ Turnbow, LJAY TURNBOW. Connect with me there, bro. Or if you out and about in the Detroit streets, you know what I'm saying, in the art world, in the art community, you know what I'm saying, we'll cross paths. I've met so many people in this world. So looking forward to meeting more and keeping it going, bro. Appreciate you coming through and doing this with me.
You already know, man. You already know. All right. Appreciate you. So this has been another episode of the Find Your Flow podcast. Make sure you guys tap in with my man's Larry Turnbow. Expect very great things. And once again, I just want to let you guys know, if you're an artist out there, don't stop. Keep going. Keep grinding. You feel what I'm saying? Because who's going to do it with you?
You know what I'm saying?
Who's going to do it with you?
You might have a pause, right? But keep it going. Don't let it end there. You know what I'm saying?
Period. Stay blessed.